Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Bill. I'm an expat and I'm living in the Philippines. It's been a long week. A lot of stuff has gone on yet again. Not much of it good in my opinion, but we're still doing what we can do to be prepared and still have an enjoyable, livable life. The anxiety is not as bad as I thought it would be considering the news this week. And I just wanted to go ahead and take the time, like I do every Sunday, and do a little mind dump on what's been going on and how I see it and things I'm doing to prepare for it. First of all, I did get a couple comments back from last week that some people are interested in me going live. I'm going to look into start scheduling lives so I can do some question and answers and meet some of my subscribers, at least in the chat setting. So below, comment if you want to do a live and suggest some times, right? My schedule is probably freer than, it's as free as I want it to be, right? So set some times and let me know what you think, and I will try to schedule and get some lives up. I'll be interested to see how that goes. I would like to thank all my new subscribers. I know not all of you are here for my mind dumps and ramblings. I know most of you like the freeze-dry stuff, some of you like the prepping stuff. Some of you are curious about being an expat, guns and ammo, whatever, you like all that stuff. Again, I'll just comment and say that's who I am, it's the life I live. So you're gonna get a mix. So like the videos you like, and if you don't like a particular video, but you watched it anyways, comment. Tell me what you didn't like about it. You know, there's always room for improvement in my sharing of knowledge, skills, and life with you guys. So I guess the big news that is actually bigger than the bank news is that the ICC out of Hague actually put out an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, for war crimes related to the deportation of children out of Ukraine into Russia. Yeah, this is a big deal, right? I was already worried that we were going to back Putin into a corner. And then now, with an arrest warrant for war crimes done and filed and active, and it's not even talking about the atrocious war crimes, we've just now told Putin that you're not getting out of this alive. So you're going to have to pretty much commit and go till you're done or till you take over or you destroy the world. It's sad news. I saw that today. Immediately Putin went ahead and went to Crimea and then went to some of the occupied territories in Mariupol, Ukraine, which was pretty ballsy on his part, but I guess that's the best way to counter this threat of an arrest warrant. Now, you know, Russia, United States, and a couple other, China, they don't sign up for that, so, you know, they're not going to enforce it. But it's a big deal, believe me, it's a really big deal. And in my opinion, it's not the right thing to do at this time. All it does is escalate things further. Now, this happened right before Xi Jinping, Chinese president, is visiting Russia for 3 days, and to show a solidarity, billed as, you know, maybe trying to make some kind of peace proposal. But it's all moot now. Even if Putin pulls out of Ukraine completely, even if he pulls out of Crimea, which I'll never see him doing, he's got a war crimes charge pending on him. So why would he? Why would he not just go all in right now? Let's just hope China's not ready or doesn't want to commit yet, because if they do any action on Taiwan or South Pacific Seas or Tibet or India or wherever these places China's always rattling its sword at, it would definitely split the world into the two sides that are going to go to World War III. And you know, and you see signs of this between World War I and World War II when the economy starts collapsing. Everybody gets into a wartime footing, and right now, not just the U.S. economy, but economies around the world are just falling and right on their face, flat on their face. Pakistan, Sri Lanka, India's hanging in there, but they're not doing too well economically either. America is obviously with all the banking crisis, and this is happening everywhere. So don't think it's an American problem. This is a global economic problem. Food inflation at 50% and going up. I don't care what you say. Call me out on my number. I know people that are paying twice what they paid for groceries this year than what they were paying last year's. And I hear every day from people that don't even watch my channel that just I know that food is driving them insane, the cost of food. And, you know, I called this out, you know, one of my first blogs 8 months ago that the food shortage is going to worsen and just continue to get worse. These droughts we talked about last week are continuing. What is it? Germany is talking about putting classification classes onto people, businesses, and entities for water usage. They're trying to identify and ration and get a scheme in place to start rationing water. And I don't blame them, right? The Rhine River is at the lowest. They're dredging parts of the Rhine just to keep commerce floating, similar to what Mississippi had to do, and it's still probably doing. But yeah, the food crisis is still, to me, the #1 biggest issue that, you know, the economics, the economy, the stocks, I don't care as much about, as long as all these feds and local governments and, you know, world governments can just keep plugging away and keeping each bank solvent or best they can. I don't care. It's the food, right? You can't make up food. You can make up money. You can just print more and pretend that it's all good, but you can't print more food, and we're not growing enough food right now. And even if we are growing it, you know, we're having problems. So for example, UK doesn't have a vegetable shortage. They have these large Aldis and these large chains that are refusing to pay what the producers and distributors of the produce want, and which they need because they had cost increase. So this rationing that we had in UK, and I think it's still going on, wasn't because there's no food available. It's these big chain stores have no profit margin in food. They use food to get people in there to buy other stuff, and they're not paying the wage. Right, so I read 2 or 3 stories about that in the UK. There's not a big shortage, just kind of with the egg shortage. There wasn't a big egg shortage in the UK. It was these stores manufacturing a supply and demand because they don't want to pay higher prices. They can't get the produce and the eggs at the price they want to pay. Well, too damn bad. Everybody's paying more for everything right now, and I get that. I'm still stacking food. I don't know. I bought 2 or 3 more cases of canned meat this week. If you've seen the videos, I got some of my first batches of mashed potatoes. It's turned out great, got those going. Harvest Right freezer is off right now. Tonight I'm going to drain the vacuum pump and filter the oil and replace the oil in that. It's a little maintenance I have to do every 20 batches or so. So I'm letting that rest, and I'm gonna get that taken care of later tonight. Prepping, this week I bought a lot of stuff. You haven't seen it yet, but there's still a generator video that I'm working on. I just ordered some rubber casters for it. I want to wait till they get in so I can do one video, one shot with everything. I did get a bunch of fishing equipment in, and I'll talk about that in the fishing video. But the reality is I live less than a half a mile or half a kilometer from one of the largest freshwater lakes in the Philippines, right? I mean, tons of fish farms, tons of fish out there. And if things got really, really bad, I can just go out there and fish. You know, or somebody in my family can. So I made sure, and I'll do a video on this early this week, and it'll come out soon, on what I spent on, you know, I'm no pro angler, right? So I wasn't gonna go buy, you know, carbon fiber rods. And I got a nice medium-sized beginner's fish kit, additional hooks, some baits, some floats, and things, right? So you'll see all that in another video. You saw the radio video. I haven't even touched the radio since I did the video. I'm still trying to gather information on the frequencies I want to program them for. I got to download Chirp, and I use Macs in Linux systems. So apparently it only works on a Windows system with these radios, which is kind of odd. But, you know, I'll figure that out. So I'll start playing with the radios and start getting them in use. I haven't ordered any new medical supplies because I'm pretty full. I'm out of things to order there. If somebody can think of some crazy medical stuff that I should have on hand, let me know. I do have an oxygen tank and concentrator in my wish list. I'm just watching it for when it's on sale. You know, because again, I've had people comment that, gee, it must be nice to prep when you have a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money. I consciously made a decision a year ago to stop construction this year, stop any big purchases, anything for a year, and I reallocated the budget I was going to do for more construction so I can jumpstart my preps. And I really did, you know, Harvest Right freezer, you know, all the stuff in my pantry, the radio comms, the medical equipment, the solar stuff, the generators, all these things. And I'm buying them as cheap as I can in trying to find the best deals that I can. So I wanted to get a jump start. So I purposely budgeted money for construction 2 years ago that I just redirected. Now, you know, I obviously earn money out here and we were very fortunate. But I felt that I couldn't go slow on my preps here. I felt 8 months ago that, you know, once the Ukraine war was 3 months in and I saw it getting ugly, that it was going to escalate to what it is today. Go figure. I had a really bad feeling that nothing in this was going to be good between food, water, security. I just knew that I needed to do an assessment of where I was at, and I found myself lacking in just about every area of preparedness. COVID lockdowns taught me that too. So I decided to double down and just grind as fast as I can. So that's why you've seen so much products and stuff and food and all of this within an 8-month period. It's because I'm sacrificing a year of my construction plans to build these preps up. And that's fine. I'm very comfortable doing this. My wife is, she doesn't get some of the purchases, but she knows that I'm just making sure that we're safe. She knows I'm taking care of business. She doesn't know exactly sure why or how, but she knows that what I'm doing will pay huge dividends when things get worse. And they're getting worse, and they're going to get worse. I still am optimistic that end of 2024 now, hopefully all this stuff will be behind us and there will be a resolution and things will track on normally, back to normal. Farmers that aren't getting the water anymore, I hope people realize that the planet does what the planet does, and you might have to find new areas to farm. I mean, the water's going somewhere. We're not capturing it, hence all the floods in California. I was so disappointed by all the flooding this week because all that good water that was up in the snowpack, a lot of it just got washed right down in the system and then was released. It didn't have any time to really get into the water ecosystem and into the groundwater. And that's a shame, but it's still a solid snowpack, so it's still going to be a better year than the last few as far as snowpack goes. Europe can't say the same. Europe is dry, and yeah, it's just going to make things worse. So, yeah, that's the two main things. The war on Putin, which I think is a bad thing. We all know he did war crimes, but at this stage of the game, forcing him into doubling down and just saying, you know, fine, you're going to charge me with war crimes and I'm going to commit them. And he has the capability to do that. He's already provoked us with the drone strike. They can lie all they want. When you got it on video, it pretty much shows they attacked our drone in international waters. Again, it's a wartime front. You know, that drone was doing surveillance on Russian activity in Crimea in the Baltic. I can understand why Russia doesn't want them up there. But to lie about it, they should have just said, hey, look, you're flying in a conflict zone, whatever bullshit name you want to make up. And it's an escalation, right? I mean, a serious escalation. And yeah, so then that happened. That was a crazy week. The banks are still struggling. Gold's gone up, but again, you can't eat gold. You know, I did a video, I don't know, about 6 months ago, whether I was going to stack gold or silver. And watch that video, but you may be surprised by my answer. And it really comes down to you can't eat either one of those. So yeah, watch that video if you want to know my strategy on gold and silver stacking. But yeah, that's it. These are my ramblings. Again, if you enjoy this stuff, smash that like button. If you have any questions for me about how I prep or anything like that, I don't have to wait for a live. Just dump them in the comments below, and I will take the time to answer questions. I am going to set up a live, even if it's just a couple of you guys that can make it, that's fine. I do appreciate each and every one of you subscribers. So If I just spend an hour talking to one or two of you, that's fine. I make a new friend, make a new buddy, I'm happy. All right, so there's my 15 minutes of babbling on a Sunday afternoon. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it makes sense. Any comments, I hope you just drop below. Once again, thank you so much for watching my channel. And if you haven't subscribed already, check out some of my other stuff. I think you'll like it. Until next time, thank you.